So no more buying fakes and knockoffs, right?
Right. Just honest bargain hunting.
Now you're talking.
Remember, counterfeits hurt, but you have the power to stop them. To learn more, go to www.ncpc.org/getreal. That's ncpc.org/getreal. Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Justice.
Kids follow your lead. Help them stay healthy. Wash your hands. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. And cover coughs and sneezes. Clean and disinfect the objects you touch often, like your phone, the remote, and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And if you're the one who's sick, stay home. This station is part of the Beasley Best Community of Caring, and we care about your family. For more info, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Real 1100 would like for you to join us in a celebration of Black History Month. Did you know that Hiram Revels became the first African American to serve in the U.S. Congress when he was appointed to the United States Senate as a Republican to represent the state of Mississippi in 1870? He would go on to become the first president of Alcorn State University. If you didn't know, now you know. Thanks for listening to today's Black History Fact.
You are tuned into WWE AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Woo! And we are back with another installment of the #1 rated business show right here on the Real 1100 AM. I'm your host, Kevin C. Pride, and we got a jam-packed show for you today. We got another great one. Joining me a little bit later on in the program, I got my PR whisperer and best-selling author, Jennifer Farmer, will be joining us very soon. Also, in studio with me today, I have Dr. Sabrinah Dorce. Did I get that right? Yes. All right. And then also from Iwi Fresh and Oasis Medical Center, we have our good friends Yolanda Owens and Yolanda Neals that will be joining us a little bit later in the program. Just get some things out of the way. Number one, I've been off for a couple of weeks, so y'all excuse me for not having it all the way together today, but we're going to make it through. It's quite all right. But if you are out in the Douglasville area, I want you to stop by Studio 1211 and see my good barber and good friend, Melvin Bowden. Tell him Kevin Pride sent you, and he might even give you a free lineup. If you want to call and schedule an appointment, you can call him at 770-485-6772. Once again, that's 770-485-6772. He is located at 6405 Fairburn Road, right there in Douglasville, Georgia. Call and make an appointment today. Also, we are still racing to read here in the city of Atlanta. We actually just sat down and met with APS, and we have now officially reached 4 million minutes read here in the city of Atlanta. We are trying to become the city that reads, and we're asking everybody to help. So if you would please go to race2read.org. You follow the instructions on the screen. It's a pretty easy sign up, and we can start tracking your minutes, and you can help Atlanta become the city that reads. Also, 2021 is here, and I am doing my best to try to help all my entrepreneurs and all my business owners out there. So I am hosting masterminds all this year to teach you advanced branding skills, to teach you advanced marketing skills. We're going to dig into web advertising, everything that you need to make your business successful in 2021, pandemic or not. It does not matter. If you are interested in joining us for one of these masterminds, I want you to email me at connect@kevincpride.com. Once again, that's connect@kevincpride.com. In the subject line, make sure that you put mastermind, and I would definitely get back to you and let you know when the next one is scheduled. We are already helping to explode businesses. So once again, joining me today, she is the PR whisperer. That's what they call her. And also best-selling author. Joining me to the program today, Miss Jennifer Farmer.
For having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
There we go. Now, first of all, so you are you passed the professional. You're an expert in public relations. All right.
Yeah, that's what experience will give you. A variety of experience will make you an expert.
Now you got a brand new thing out. Now that you're a best-selling author now. Is it best-selling yet?
It's not best-selling, but you can go ahead and speak prophetically.
Oh, we getting there. We're gonna get it. Well, give everybody just a little bit of background, because I know me and you've had a long relationship, and I know you work with the big time stars and all these great people. But just give our listeners here just a little bit of background on Jennifer Farmer before we get into this great book that you've written.
Sure. So I'm a social justice publicist, and I work for leaders and organizations who are committed to racial and social justice. Some of those folks are more popular than others. You know, Killer Mike. Killer Mike has been a longtime client and friend. I also work with Bankhead Seafood, helping them to promote, what they're doing. I work with grassroots leaders from across the country, political leaders. Nina Turner up in Cleveland, Ohio is also a client. And she actually wrote the foreword for my new book, First and Only, A Black Woman's Guide to Thriving at Work and in Life.
Wow.
So, yeah. So by day, I work in PR promoting other people. And then early in the mornings and late at night, I write. And I'm so excited about my new book, First and Only.
Now, tell us about this new book. First of all, why did you first and only write it for Black women? All right, because men need some advice and some help out here this day and age, too.
Well, I wanted to speak from my experience as a Black woman, and I wanted to center the experience of Black women. A lot of times, if you go to the bookstore and you look for leadership content, there is content for women broadly. There's content for women of color. And I wanted to add to the collection of content specifically for Black women. What we experience is unique, and I think it is a disservice to us to lump us in this women of color umbrella and not think about the ways that intersecting oppressions of racism, sexism, homophobia, colorism, how they impact us and how they impact our ability for upward trajectory in our careers. Wow. So I spoke from my social location as a Black woman, and I spoke intentionally to Black women for the reasons that I've shared just now.
Now, what are some of those things that Black women are starting to see? Because I got to be honest with you, from a man's perspective, and don't get me wrong, I understand. I got a wife, I got 2 daughters, and I love women to death. But it really looks like, from a male perspective at this point, you guys are the ones that's getting all the opportunities and the great roles and the big time jobs and this type of thing. So what is that like for Black women, and what are some of the things that you see women going through?
Well, as long as we still have situations where a Black woman can walk into a professional space, she can walk onto a board as the only Black woman on the board, as the only director of a department, as the only CEO the only CEO in that company's history, she is the first and the only. And if there's only one, that means that we are not doing as good a job as we may think in creating opportunities for our entire community. The thing is, whenever you find an organization or whenever you find a Black woman and she's the first, she has excelled. No question about that. Okay. But there are other people who are talented as well, but sometimes there isn't, the organizations don't create a culture that makes it possible for Black women to excel and to stay. And so I think the pie is big enough for us all. I think that certainly, our Black men, they need opportunities. When it comes to us and what we experience the politics of hair, how we style our hair, and whether or not that's going to be held against us. We experience the politics of body in terms of, what we wear, and we deal with respectability politics. I heard about a woman 2 years ago. She was boarding a flight from Jamaica to Miami, and she's actually a doctor. and they told her to wrap a blanket around her body.
Wow.
Because they felt like her outfit was too revealing. So we deal with politics of our body. We deal with politics of tone. Oh, well, you sound angry. You're too assertive. And so we deal with all that. And that doesn't even mention sexual harassment or implicit bias and explicit bias. So there's a lot that goes into these work environments that can make it difficult for us to stay and to thrive.
Wow. You know that is something. It's really something to that, because it's funny. I was having a conversation with my mother the other day, and she was telling me that so many of her staff were having issues with her because she's a direct talker, and it's not one of those type things that I have an attitude, I'm upset, but if I got something to say, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I got to say, and I'm through with it. Is that a little bit of what you're talking about?
Definitely, and there was a whole thread on Twitter about direct conversation, because a lot of us in the Black community, we were taught to state how we feel, and it's also it's a survival skill. But in many environments that are majority white, that is not always well received when it shows up in a Black body, in a Black female body. And I wrote an article on the underbelly of assertive communication. And what I said is that there are a lot of leadership books that tell you should be assertive. And when Black women speak up, ask for what they want and what they need, that can be a mixed bag in terms of whether or not we are accepted, whether or not people feel that we have, who does she think she is? Why is she asking for that? So direct communication is definitely something that we can be penalized for, even though a lot of communications programs will tell you that you should be direct.
Now, it's 2021. Joe Biden is president. We have a Black female vice president, and I'm pretty sure in the next few years, we probably gonna have a Black female governor in Georgia, probably a Black female president. Are we really still having these problems? Like, are we really still dealing with this? We still got to check ourselves when we walk into a room full of white people and all this type of stuff.
We're still having these problems. The fact that there has not been a Black woman governor in these United States, that attests to the fact that it's a problem. It's not because of a lack of ability, a lack of talent, a lack of experience in the political field. It's based on resistance. And so that tells you in and of itself that there's a problem. And yes, we have Kamala Harris as our vice president, and she's the source of pride for all of us. The question is, will it be possible for another Black woman after her to become vice president or president? The question is, when she started out running for president. She didn't get president. So absolutely, there's still challenges that we face, even though we see progress that our ancestors could only have dreamed of.
Wow. Now, my in-studio guest with me today, Dr. Dorce, is a nonprofit doctor that helps people with diabetes. And I see that you have some relevant information in here for these nonprofits. What type of information do you have for nonprofits? And I can't believe we're dealing with this in nonprofit status. I mean, really.
Anywhere that there is people, we're dealing with it. The fact that our nation has had difficulty confronting the brutality of racism and slavery, that tells you that it can show up. And what can be surprising to folks is you think that, okay, well, it's a nonprofit, they exist to do good. That does not mean that the people inside the organization have done their own anti-racism, anti-sexism work. So it shows up anywhere where there are people. And what I recommend is that, one, the leaders have to do their own anti-racism, anti-sexism work. They have to assess the culture that they're creating and whether that culture, you can say all day long, oh, we're welcoming and inclusive. But if your culture is such that it's difficult for Black women to stay, or if Black women don't see other Black women in leadership and thriving, then you really have a nice mission and there's nothing else to it. So there's more that organizations have to do besides writing out a fancy mission statement or, a fancy value statement. They have to create a space that's hospitable to Black women. They have to listen to Black women. They have to empower Black women. And then when you talk about the responsibility assigned to Black women, there has to be corresponding resources that help us get the job done.
Wow. Now let's talk about empowerment. Because I don't think Black women can be any more empowered in this country at this point. What does empowerment in 2021 look like at this point? Because I see, we're launching the first Black female astronaut. vice president. I mean, just enormous CEOs, billionaires. I mean, it's all kind of accomplishments that you guys have. So what does empowerment look like at this point?
Well, empowerment to me looks like the minimizing the black-white wealth gap. Okay. Empowerment looks like creating, more shares of. Right now, in Fortune 500 companies, I think there is one Black woman, and she just got hired, like recently. So why is it that out of all the Fortune 500 companies, there's only one Black woman? That is not empowerment to me. That is a temporary balm that makes us think there is hope. But until these organizations are willing to really share power, that's not empowerment. Empowerment to me looks like reduced health disparities. When you think about cancer, breast cancer, when you think about heart disease, when you think about maternal health, Black women have a higher mortality rate. And so, yes, in some indicators, we are making progress. We are among the most educated groups. But it's still, as long as we are dying faster, and as long as we are less likely to survive certain health conditions, it's not because we're eating poorly. It's because of stress. It's because of racism. It's because of what's on our shoulders. So when you're able to address all those areas, and when you're able to ensure that it's not just one, that when books like First and Only are no longer relevant because we can't even envision the concept of a first and only, then we can have the conversation about Black women being empowered.
Wow. Now, what's one surprising aspect of this book? Give me some of the cliffhangers or some of the gotchas in there.
Okay. So one surprising aspect of the book is, although it's a leadership book, I'm speaking to the whole person. Okay. I'm not solely interested in helping Black women get or keep a job. I'm interested in giving tips and sharing tips on how we take care of ourselves, how we fight for our own liberation, even as we fight for the communities that we love. So that's surprising. And this is bigger than just, okay, read this and now you'll go get a job. It's bigger than that. Another surprising aspect of the book, just like a technical detail, is at the end of every chapter, there's a journal section. There's a reflection prompt. And I'm asking women to write in the book, to sit with the information that I've shared, to think about how it impacts them, what they'll do as a result, and actually write in the physical copy of the book. So in one way, the book is a book, but it's also a journal. Okay. That is surprising. The other piece that's surprising is, I talk about spiritual practices and how that can sustain us. And so a lot of leadership books, unless they were written by someone who is, they're writing from a faith perspective, a lot of leadership books don't always speak directly to faith. And I am speaking to faith. And however that shows up for readers, it could be a Bible study group. It could be commitment to a regular yoga and meditation practice. It could be commitment to physical exercise so that the body and the soul feels the body and the soul are taken care of. So those are some of the surprising aspects. And Kevin, if I could just take another minute and say the cover of the book, it's just beautiful.
Yes, it is. I have seen it.
It's beautiful. You've seen it.
Oh, yeah. And thank you so much for my hardback copy. Everybody wants to see me the paperback. You sent me the hard one. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to give it to my mama now.
I hope you gave it to your wife after,
I'm going to need another copy for my mom after what she's going through.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll send her own copy.
Well, tell me something. Throughout this journey of writing this book, what are some of the things that you found on your own self-discovery path?
Well, one thing I found in my own self-discovery path is that we have to have things outside of work. I, by default, can be a workaholic. Okay. And, I had to trace the root of that, like where that comes from, what I'm hiding from, but then also say, okay, it's okay to step back a little bit and keep work in its proper perspective, but do things that feed my spirit. So that's been surprising. As I've been sharing the book with people, and they have, I try to be very, very vulnerable in this book and to call it how I see it, and to share some of my experiences. And as people have written me and they found me and they've talked about the book, that has, sometimes you can think about your experience, Kevin, and you can say, okay, well, this is just me, but we're all connected. And I've been pleasantly surprised by the number of people who said you wrote this just for me, or I felt seen in the book. That has made me feel very good.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me today. You have got to let our audience know how they can pick this book up, because I know everybody wants it. So how can people pick up a copy of this book?
Okay, so First and Only, A Black Woman's Guide to Thriving at Work and in Life. You can get it from any bookseller. You can get it from Barnes & Noble, Target, Amazon, the publisher, Broadleaf Books. So just Google First and Only and put my name in there, and you will find a way to buy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is Jennifer Farmer, soon to be best-selling author. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be right back after this.
This pandemic has many people suffering. Are you stressed? Are you not sleeping well? Are you suffering from neck pain, back pain, or headaches? Chiropractic can help. Chiropractic is a natural healing art that can resolve many of your ailments. Dr. Williams and Dr. Fowler of Align for Life are board-certified doctors of chiropractic with over 15 years of combined experience. They are located in South Atlanta and are available for your healthcare needs.
If you want to be fine, take care of your spine. Visit them at yourfinespine.com.
Is your business online? Well, in today's world, if you're not online, then your business is not going to survive. Do you have a WordPress website? Well, if you do, I want to make sure that you go visit my good friends at Fast Fix WP and make sure that WordPress website stays running smooth. Trust me, there is nothing worse than having a big presentation or have a customer on your site and then your site goes down. So I want you to go visit fastfixwp.com and make sure your site stays running smooth and stays online every time you need it.
And we are back right here on the #1 rated business show on the one and only Real 1100 AM. Once again, I'm your host, Kevin C. Pride, in studio with me from Abundant Living Foundation. She is the one and only, the great Dr. Sabrinah Dorce. How you doing today, Dr. Sabrinah?
Thank you so much for that introduction.
You welcome. So tell us a little bit about, what you're doing and all the great things that Abundant Living is doing in the community.
Okay, so we are trying to eliminate diabetes or help people understand what diabetes is, and especially pre-diabetes. If we can identify people who have pre-diabetes and educate them and support them through coaching, they can be reversed to normal. A lot of people don't realize that it is reversible. And if you catch someone early on who has diabetes, if they change their lifestyle, change the way they eat, which is a big part of it, and exercise, lose some weight, they can become pre-diabetic and move into normal.
Now, for some people that's listening that might just now be coming into this information, they might be a little bit young. What is diabetes?
Okay, diabetes is a chronic disorder where your body cannot produce enough insulin to allow your food, when it's processed, it turns into glucose and it enters your cells for energy. If you have diabetes, you don't have the insulin, so the glucose stays in the bloodstream, and that's why you have a high glucose level. It doesn't enter in the cells. It stays in the bloodstream, and it can even be spilled into the urine, which is a problem.
Wow.
And as a result of that, you're going to have damage to multiple organs: the eyes, the kidneys, the heart, the brain, even your circulation and your nerves. They are all affected. And so we want to avoid that. I'm sure that a lot of people know at least one person in their family or friends.
Especially in the South.
Right. As a matter of fact, diabetes is a pandemic. It's worldwide.
Wow.
There are, in Georgia, just in Georgia alone, there are 2.6 million individuals who are pre-diabetic. However, 94% of them don't even know they are. That's why screening is so important.
Now, what's some of those things that you should start to kind of trigger you, or some of those things that you might want to get concerned about if you having issues? I don't necessarily feel like I'm sick, but some stuff just don't feel right. You know?
Yes.
What's some of the ways it kind of creeps up? What are some of those symptoms that come out?
Okay, so if you urinate a lot, if you're thirsty a lot, those are the classic symptoms.
Okay.
And also, if you have a family history, if you're overweight, and your age has a part in it as well. As we get older, things change. And so that's another criteria for really looking into whether you're pre-diabetic or not. You could be pre-diabetic and not have any symptoms for up to 5 years or maybe even longer.
Now, let's explain this concept of pre-diabetic, because I think a lot of folks get confused. You know, either I got it or I don't. What is the whole disposition to it?
It all has to do with your level of your blood glucose and your hemoglobin A1C.
Okay.
There are different levels, okay? For normal, for your blood glucose, it needs to be below 5.7.
Wow.
That's for your hemoglobin A1C.
Okay.
All right. For your glucose, fasting glucose number should be 99 or below. Okay. If you're pre-diabetic, then your hemoglobin A1C is going to be 5.7 to 6.4%. Okay.
Wow.
And if you're and your fasting blood glucose will be from 100 to 125. After that, anything higher than that is diabetes.
Now, why do we see such a disparaging type of statistic in the Black community when it comes to a disease like diabetes?
It could be hereditary. That's for one thing. And it could be lifestyle. That's a big part of it. But it also could be just living in the society we live in. Okay. So you'll find that not always, but a lot of people who are overweight or obese are prone to diabetes.
Wow.
And a sedentary lifestyle. That's another problem if you're trying to.
Sitting is the new smoking.
Right, right. Exactly. And so, you know, you have a family history, your age, your race. It happens that African Americans and Hispanic have a high percentage or prevalence of diabetes.
Wow.
And I'm speaking of type 2 diabetes, by the way. There is a type 1, which is usually found in young children, called juvenile diabetes. But type 2 diabetes, they call a lifestyle diabetes. It occurs based on what you're doing, what you're eating, your level of exercise, your race, your family history, and your age.
So if I'm sitting here eating buckets of chicken and cookies every day.
Yes, that's a problem. The standard American diet is not a good diet. Okay. So I know that it's difficult, even for myself, anybody, to just change just like that. So you make one change at a time, one small difference in what you're eating at a time. And eventually you'll, develop an eating plan that is more healthy for you. You need to concentrate on nutrient-dense foods and low fat or low calorie, at least.
Now, tell us about Abundant Living Foundation. What is it that you guys are exactly doing for people?
Okay, so what we want to do is to screen individuals because, as I said before, 84% of those 2,006,000 people in Georgia alone are not aware that they have diabetes. Now, the CDC and the American Diabetes Association will give you a risk assessment, but you answer a few questions. But to really understand and know if you have diabetes, you must be screened. You must have those blood tests.
Okay.
You must have the hemoglobin A1C and the fasting blood glucose. And then there's another test that they can do as well. But those two are very important. And so that's what we want to do. We want to screen individuals, identify those that are pre-diabetic,
Okay.
then educate them on the things that I mentioned before, the effects, the untoward effects of having diabetes, and also to give them information on an alternative for eating plan. It's not just one thing. You can do a modified American diet. You can do pescatarian, which is a diet that is based on fish.
Yes.
You know about that, right? Okay. Or you can do vegetarian. A friend of mine, and I don't know if, you're.
I tried vegetarian. It lasted for about 3 days, and I had to go get me a steak or something.
Okay. All right. Even at that, cut down on the steak.
Okay.
Instead of having it several times a week, maybe have it once or twice a week.
Okay.
It's easy if you just take it a step at a time. You gradually move into a better eating plan. I avoid saying diet because you want this to be long lasting. So you ease your way into a healthier eating plan.
A lifestyle change.
A lifestyle change. Absolutely right.
I done made a couple lifestyle changes. I changed back a few times.
Well, that happens as well. But you pick it up and you keep going. I think that's human.
Oh yeah.
That's normal. And everyone is going to do that.
Oh yeah.
But you don't forget about it and you just progress. You get back on track and do better.
The older I'm getting, the less I beat myself up over little mistakes I make. So
that's good. But another thing is I find that clients need support, and that's what we provide as well. You need support. You need someone to be accountable to and to help you in those struggles. And and that's what we're here for.
I'm starting to see coaching is one of those type of things. It's just all over the spectrum now. Like, I mean, we do business and marketing coaching and stuff, but I mean, it's just all over the spectrum. You almost need a coach in every little aspect of your life this day and age.
Well, that's the way things are going.
So everybody need a team.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
teamwork makes the dream work.
There
right?
you go. Now, what if a person has no insurance? Can they still come and take advantage of the screening?
Yes. Okay. This is a nonprofit.
Okay.
And I have a for-profit as well. Okay. And I found that a lot of the people that need the help can't afford it. And so I formed the nonprofit, and they can come in, be screened, and get the help that they need at no cost. Or if they, can pay, we take donations.
Okay.
But if not, there's no charge.
Now, what does coaching someone for diabetes and trying to help them be a little bit more health conscious, what does that look like for somebody?
Okay, so I would say that they would at least start with a plan. I would give them a meal plan.
Okay.
For say like 28 days. I think that's the minimum to start to make the transition to a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
And it would consist of shopping lists, so you know what foods to buy. Some people never heard of quinoa, and so that's a very good grain.
Okay.
To replace the rice.
Okay.
So they get a shopping list, they get recipes, and they would get menus.
Okay.
A sample menu. So it would be out breakfast or lemon and water, warm water with ginger in the morning.
Okay.
That helps you. Breakfast, a midday snack, a mid-morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and a healthy dinner, and maybe a tea at night. And so I also have a mobile app that I would give to my clients or the individuals that come in that will help them track what they're doing. Okay, their eating plan, what they're drinking. We suggest that you drink 8 ounces, 8 glasses of water a day. Increase your water intake. If you don't like water, put a little stevia in it, you know? And just, if you don't drink water at all, just start with 1 glass, okay? And as you go, increase it. And
well, we are zooming through our time now. I know you also got some great natural products that you also give people and help people with as far as diabetes and a whole lot of other things. Can you just briefly kind of tell us about a few of them?
Okay, all right. So I
know you got my arm shining from that scrub you put on me.
Okay, so yes, we have supplements that we have for our patients, and I can tell you that it has made a difference. We have what we call is recovery with hydro effects.
Okay.
It's all natural, no GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, vegan, no sugar added. It's kosher and no artificial preservatives.
All right.
All right. And so what that does, it contains molecular hydrogen that helps your body cells to have energy.
Okay.
And I've seen that. And we also have hydro effect, which has more of the molecular oxygen. And it's been shown to help maintain blood sugar, give you a healthy nervous system, and even help with the healthy cardiovascular system. And those are the areas that affect us. And I wanted to mention one thing in addition to that. When you come in for screening, I not only do the glucose and the hemoglobin A1C, I also do a lipid panel. Because a lot of people who have prediabetes also have high cholesterol, which can lead to heart disease. Okay, so we do that as well. And when they first come in, we'll body composition analysis, which will give you your BMI, which is the ratio of your weight over your height, to tell whether you're normal, overweight, or obese. And that body composition analysis also gives the visceral fat content. The visceral fat is the fat in your abdominal area, and it surrounds your organs and affects their function.
Wow.
Okay, so we do all those things. We find out where you are, and then we work on them. Then I have educational programs. If you have high cholesterol, I'll show you how to control your cholesterol. If your glucose is high, we give you information on how to combat that.
Well, I'm getting old. I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna get myself tested. Just for everybody else, they say if you wanna be a leader, you got to go first. So I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna come get tested. I'm gonna bring some cameras with us, and I'm gonna invite the #1 rated audience to come with me. How about that?
That sounds terrific. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Now, if somebody wants to get in contact with you, or to get an appointment, or just to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can go to my website, or can I give my phone number?
Yeah, sure.
Or they can call me at 914-275-1477. My
the website is Abundant Living Foundation Inc.org.
Right.
So
that would be great.
And what we'll do is we'll put that information down in the comments, so that way if anybody's watching on social media, or I'll also put it in the description when we put this out as a podcast, and then people can actually get in contact with you and come out and get screened.
Please do.
Now, before you go, give me 3 tips to stay healthy in 2021.
Okay. Drink more water.
Drink more water.
Exercise at least 30 minutes a day. And eat healthy. Reduce the amount of red meat you eat to 1 twice a week.
Why y'all on red meat so bad?
Because
it's always red meat too. Y'all ain't got no problem with chicken, fish, anything else, but not a steak.
It gets stuck in your intestines. That's what. Why.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that hurt with the diabetes?
It helps with the diabetes, yes. All those things I mentioned. Oh, you mean does the red meat help with the diabetes? Oh, well, no, it doesn't help. So.
Well, I would definitely be there to see you very, very soon. Dr. Dorce, thank you so much once again for coming in and joining us right here on the #1 rated business show on Real 1100 AM. And we will be right back after this.
This pandemic has many people suffering. Are you stressed? Are you not sleeping well? Are you suffering from neck pain, back pain, or headaches? Chiropractic can help. Chiropractic is a natural healing art that can resolve many of your ailments. Dr. Williams and Dr. Fowler of Align for Life are board-certified doctors of chiropractic with over 15 years of combined experience. They are located in South Atlanta and are available for your healthcare needs.
Auto accident, wellness care, slip and fall. We take care of it all. Visit them at yourfinespine.com.
Is your business online? Well, in today's world, if you're not online, then your business is not going to survive. Do you have a WordPress website? Well, if you do, I want to make sure that you go visit my good friends at Fast Fix WP and make sure that WordPress website stays running smooth. Trust me, there is nothing worse than having a big presentation or have a customer on your site and then your site goes down. So I want you to go visit fastfixwp.com and make sure your site stays running smooth and stays online every time you need it.
Kids follow your lead. Help them stay healthy. Wash your hands. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. And cover coughs and sneezes. Clean and disinfect the objects you touch often, like your phone, the remote, and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And if you're the one who's sick, stay home. This station is part of the Beasley Best Community of Caring, and we care about your family. For more info, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the Real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
Real 1100 would like for you to join us in a celebration of Black History Month. Did you know that Hiram Revels became the first African American to serve in the U.S. Congress when he was appointed to the United States Senate as a Republican to represent the state of Mississippi in 1870? He would go on to become the first president of Alcorn State University. If you didn't know, now you know. Thanks for listening to today's Black History Fact.
And we are back right here on the Real 1100 AM with the #1 rated business show, Atlanta Business Journal Radio. I'm your host today, Kevin C. Pride. In studio with me, I have the two Yolandas. That's the name y'all starting to develop, right? I think it's the third one, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually more than that, but yeah.
Miss Yolanda Owens and Miss Yolanda Neals from Iwi Fresh in the Oasis Medical Center. How y'all doing today?
We're doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. It's amazing. We ended up with a health show today. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me a little bit about Iwi Fresh. I'm starting to get this great education. We have some mutual friends, our good doctor friends over there at Align for Life.
Okay.
But a little bit about Iwi Fresh.
Yes. So Iwi Fresh is a farm to skin spa. That's where it started off at.
Wow.
It's a sustainable self-care lifestyle.
Okay.
That is what it's all about. And Iwi Fresh, Iwi stands for it is what it is, meaning that whatever it is, that's what it is. Everything is raw, straight from the farm. We partner with local farms, handpick the fruits and vegetables, bring them back to the spa where we juice them and we mix them and we make skincare recipes and we use those skincare recipes for spa services.
Wow.
So that is the flagship store. That is the originator, the foundation of Iwi Fresh.
So if I come in, what kind of food products you gonna put on my skin?
Oh, you're gonna get some grits, some carrots, some collard greens, sweet potatoes, black-eyed peas. I mean, you name it, squash. We got squash cleanser. We got a black-eyed pea serum.
Wow.
Made with collard. We got a collard green for hydration.
Really?
We have lettuce toner.
Oh wow!
You
I
name
thought
it.
collard greens were good for them, but putting it in a pot with some
Oh,
oxtails or something.
No. They good for the skin.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, so this is not a vegan recipe type lifestyle. This is more so health and skin beauty and.
Yes, our motto is feeding the skin the truth.
Okay.
So we're all about feeding the skin the truth. No toxin, no chemicals, no preservatives. But it's not even just the skin. The skin is the largest organ of your body. So it's about feeding your whole body.
Wow.
And so that's when the wellness, the Oasis comes in at, because now we're feeding mind, body, and soul the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Now, let's talk about the Oasis Center for a minute. Very, very historic idea of what you guys are doing, especially in the area, right down the street from where Martin Luther King and John Lewis are buried. I mean, a very great area that you guys in, and it's intentionally Black. Why is that so important for you guys?
It's so important for us because we are Black. Black is wellness. I mean, our whole motto is Black wellness.
Okay.
And that into the community. For us, we really we know that we grew up in urban areas, and we know that these type of wellness is not accessible for us. And so it was very important for us to be able to have this full one-stop shop, mind, body, and soul of healing and wellness accessible in the community for our families, for our Black families, for our youth, for our children, for everybody. Because now they can actually go down the block, around the corner, and get a sauna. They can go get Reiki, meditation, acupuncturist, a chiropractor. They can go and get things that they normally probably had never even known. We had a young lady that came in the other day. She lived in the neighborhood. She never even knew what sage was. She had never even seen sage.
Okay.
And didn't even know what it was. So, just being able to expose them to things that they never been able to expose before, because it's not accessible. Absolutely. It's far. It's away.
Yeah, I know I spoke with a lot of the doctors over there, and they're so proud to be over there. But they talk about having these type of services that are so accessible, almost any corner in Buckhead that you can just walk in. But when you come to our side of town, our neighborhoods, and this type of stuff, you don't have these type of services. So
yeah, I've spent a lot of time at a lot of different tables with medical professions, because what we're creating is integrated medicine, right?
Okay.
Where we match the alternative, the holistic, with the medicinal, the Western medicine, so that people can get everything that they need. Because sometimes you need a little bit more, sometimes it don't take that much, to be able to heal yourself. And I come across doctors oftentimes that don't look like me that say, well, we have to see if that works. And I said, no, you guys know that it works, because it's in the Mayo Clinic, it's in the cancer centers. And when I go into the suburbs, like you said, on every other corner, we see it working. So it's just a matter of us being valued enough as Black people and Black communities to be able to get what we need to get that worth.
Let's break down this whole idea of wellness, because I think this is a trend and a thing that has really, really exploded. Over the last, I'd say probably 3 or 4 years, it's really, really exploded. I mean, you've had the vitamins and stuff back in the past, but everybody seems so concerned about, mind, body, and soul right now. So tell us a few things in this whole wellness culture, or what are the important things about wellness?
The important things about wellness is that the body itself does not separate itself. So what happens in your mind is also attached to what's going on in your body.
Okay.
But we had been sort of socialized that you take care of your mind, and then you do something different to your body, but it's all one. Like she said, the skin is the biggest organ on the body.
Okay.
And it doesn't differentiate from the arm or the foot or whatever. It's skin for the whole body. That's what wellness is. It's a holistic approach to how you live in this life, how you think, how you eat, what you do. All of it's relative to you.
Now, did y'all intentionally pick the therapies that you have there, or is it something that just kind of came about?
No, they were intentionally.
Yeah.
Everybody in that space was intentionally chosen.
Okay.
Yeah. It was not something we just came about.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure, one, that everybody we chose was in alignment with our mission, and that was the whole body, the whole wellness, the Black wellness. We wanted to make sure we got small business who were already serving in the community, that already had a brand that was out there for healing and wellness.
Okay.
So that was one thing that we really intentionally made sure that we were all in alignment of the same mission.
Wow.
We also intended to, we know mental health is a huge one in our community that was underserved.
Yes.
So we have a whole mental health suite. We know the chiropractors serve the bodies in ways that most people don't recognize. That goes to total healing. That's why you have that chiropractic suite there. We know that reflexology is something that we're educating our community on, but in 30 minutes or 60 minutes, you can get up and have realigned your whole body by somebody rubbing on your foot. So, we were very intentional in being able to streamline and give our community something that didn't take a whole lot of pharmacy or surgery to realign themselves and feel better and be, in their best operative way.
Like, for an example, the chiropractors, they're not your typical chiropractors. They actually are holistic.
Oh, yes.
And they actually work on the whole body. And that was one of the things that I love about them, because they're not your traditional or typical. So they're in alignment with that whole wellness of healing. And I always tell people, I said, they're not your typical. You got to try them, because I love how they really pay attention to the whole body.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And for anybody listening, she is talking about Align for Life Wellness. You can go to their website at yourfinespine.com. They are my chiropractors, and I promise you, they are two of the best in the Atlanta area. I'm almost willing to say the United States.
Yes.
Don't tell them, they might start charging more.
Yeah, please don't tell them that.
Now you guys have some different type of modalities over at the Oasis, because I think you got like plant therapy and different things like that. Kind of speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, we have the plant therapy room, which is really seemed to be something that people are really connecting to. And it's one of those healing modalities that I think that is always misunderstood, or people don't get it because they're like, oh, it's a plant. How is this going to heal me? But there's so much power in healing in plants. And so we have a plant therapy room called Plant Atlanta. And I mean, when you walk in that room, immediately their whole emotions change. Wow. When they walk in that room. I mean, I was just telling Yolanda the other day that I feel that there's like a mother and grandmother spirit in there, because we've had so many women that come in there and they begin to cry. They let out in that plant therapy room. And we're dealing with just nature, just being nature and being still and just being nature. And so the oxygen, the beauty of the plants, the colors of all the different greens. I mean, it really speaks to the soul.
And the men love it too. They get in there and they be like, wow.
They be in there crying too.
I have had one man that did cry. The plants did make him cry.
That's all right. Men cry too.
That's that grandmama and mama spirit.
That's that grandmama and mama spirit that came in and touched him. Yes.
Well,
you got to come to the plant therapy.
I'm gonna have to come try it out for real. Matter of fact, I got to come over there Thursday night. I'm gonna see if y'all open.
I'm gonna peek behind, make sure you're crying over there.
So what's the future for the Oasis? What are you guys hoping to accomplish with this center?
Right now, in the present, we are totally here for our community during this pandemic. We're serving people who want to prevent getting COVID. We serve people who have been touched by COVID. And we're really specializing in the post, because that's something that's not being talked about a lot in our community, the damage that COVID is doing. So there's a lot of central nervous system stuff that the chiropractors and the acupuncturists and our sound therapy and our energy healers are really working with, helping people rebuild. And then in the future, we're here to be a gathering space where people can come and get exactly what they need. Like she said, the children, the families, the elders, we have something for everybody. And our intention is to become the cornerstone of wellness in our community.
Wow.
And to make sure we really touch into that mental health. I think that is something that we really want to make sure that our community feels comfortable to come and release and speak and get healed for that mental health. I think that's a big piece, and I think that's also attached to COVID. We're looking at the actual physical piece of it, but there's a lot of mental piece of COVID that's happening that a lot of people are not really talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think we want to make sure that we are that space that people feel comfortable to come and get healed.
Are you starting to see the mental health is starting to change in the community though? Are more people starting to, you know, talk about depression and talk about some of these mental things that we would not speak of?
Absolutely. We are doing right now. We have our mental health suite goes out into Clayton community once a week to do different workshops. And they do everything from stress, anxiety, depression, and grief to trauma, to personal life coaching, to radical forgiveness. And the reception to it has been amazing. And the most amazing part is that people are saying, wow, nobody's ever talked to me about this.
Wow.
And so now they're booking appointments and they're coming in to individually take care of themselves because they've been given information and tools that say, you can come in and this is a safe, sacred place to do that.
Wow.
And they also feel comfortable because they see someone that looks like them. You know, so I think that's a big difference. When they can see someone that looks like them.
Black on.
You know.
Well, I'm gonna definitely have to get the third Yolanda in here, and we're gonna have to come back and have
about 3 more Yolanda.
Right?
Oh my goodness. We definitely gonna have a much longer discussion about this. But thank y'all so much for coming in today. If somebody wants to visit the Oasis Center or get some of the services that you guys provide, how can somebody get in contact with you?
Well, they can go to our website, which is www.iwifresh.com.
Okay.
They can also call us at the Oasis at 404-509-7462. And they can go to our Instagram pages. All of our digital social media is Iwi Farm Oasis.
Iwi Farm Oasis.
Yes.
And we currently have a crowdfunding campaign so we can stay open, so we can stay available and continue to be here for our community. And every dollar counts. We're asking all hands on deck. We already really are appreciating the community love. And you can get that information by texting the word Oasis to 24365, and you'll get the link to the website that give you all the information.
Oasis 24365.
There you go. Now, if you make sure that you give me that information, and then what we'll do is in the podcast, we'll put that in the description so people can easily do it.
Okay.
Once again, ladies, it has been another installment of the #1 rated business show right here on the Real 1100 AM. I think a little bit early today. I might have some more time. Producer, you ain't got no more time. Get up there.
He said no.
Thank y'all so much for joining us, the #1 rated audience. I will see y'all next week. Follow me on social media. I am KC Pride to keep up with the show and everything that's going on. And we are out.